Have you ever watched a show, maybe something really gripping, and you just get that feeling there's way more going on underneath, beyond just the story? Like you want to know the clever thinking behind it, the little details, the craft.
Yeah, absolutely. That feeling of wanting to peel back the layers.
Exactly. Well, if that sounds like you are definitely in the right place today.
Yeah.
We're doing a deep dive into the first season of Reacher, and we're not just doing a recap. We're digging for those really compelling insights, the key plot moments, and, those behind-the-scenes bits you might have missed or just want to get a better handle on.
Mm-hmm.
We've pulled everything straight from a really comprehensive look at Season 1, so yeah, get ready to be properly informed the deep dive way.
And that's really our mission here, isn't it? There's just so much content out there. It's easy to get swamped.
Tell me about it.
So we want to cut through that noise, give you a shortcut, basically, to being really well informed about Reacher Season 1. We're talking its origins from the books, the really twisty plot, and those big production decisions that made it what it is on screen.
Right.
We'll look at how they took a book people love, Killing Floor, and turned it into this, really compelling TV show. We'll uncover some surprising stuff along the way. It's all about breaking down the craft, really.
Okay, so let's start right at the beginning then, the foundation.
Yeah.
How did this whole thing get from page to screen? Reacher Season 1, it's an American action crime show. It's gritty, it's physical. It definitely grabs you right away.
Oh, yeah.
But the key thing, I think, is that it's not just made up out of thin air. It comes straight from the Jack Reacher book series by Lee Child. Huge series.
Absolutely massive. Iconic, really.
And for this first season, they made a very specific choice. They adapted the first book in the series, Killing Floor.
Which makes a lot of sense, starting at the beginning.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
Gives everyone that origin feel, right? So it dropped all at once on Amazon Prime Video, February 4th, 2022.
And the reaction was just immediate?
Insane, wasn't it? It was such a hit right out of the gate that Amazon renewed it for Season 2 just, 3 days later? February 7th.
3 days, that's almost unheard of. It just shows how much it connected with people instantly.
It really does. It speaks volumes.
And to get that kind of impact, you really have to look at the people behind the scenes, the creative team.
Right. Who put this all together?
Well, the main guy, the showrunner, lead writer, executive producer, that was Nick Santora.
Okay, I know that name. Scorpion, right.
That's him.
Yeah.
He knows how to build these kinds of high-stakes, engaging stories, so he was steering the ship right from the start.
A safe pair of hands, then.
Definitely. But it wasn't just him. You had a whole team of executive producers, big names like Dawn Granger, Scott Sullivan, David Ellison, Dana Goldberg, Marcy Ross.
Okay.
But the really key one, I think, especially for book fans, is Lee Child himself was an executive producer.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
The author was directly involved.
He was, and that's often, a really good sign for an adaptation. It helps keep the core feeling, the spirit of the character and his world intact.
That makes sense. Keeps it authentic.
Exactly. And we should also mention MJ Bassett, who came in as a director. She was really important for the visual style and especially for nailing those big action scenes.
Which are pretty central to Reacher.
Oh, absolutely fundamental. So yeah, it was a real team effort bringing Child's vision to the screen like that.
That Lee Child involvement is fascinating. And it probably leads us straight into some of the big choices they had to make, right? Adapting a character like Reacher for TV. That can't be easy. He's so internal in the books.
You hit the nail on the head. That's one of the biggest challenges. Reacher's internal monologue in the books is huge. It's how you understand his deductions, his observations, his whole unique way of seeing things.
Right, you're constantly in his head.
Exactly. But on TV, you can't just have a constant voiceover droning on. It'd be clunky. It'd pull you right out of the scene.
Yeah, that'd be awful.
So the writers made a really smart call. They decided to have Reacher verbalize his thoughts a bit more often than in the books.
Okay, so he talks more. Does that change him too much?
Well, that's the clever part. They were really careful about it. Even when he talks more, his dialogue is still short, direct, very Reacher.
Economical.
Precisely. He really only says more when he's talking to people he respects, like Finlay or Roscoe later on, or when he's laying out a conclusion, like, this is how it is.
Ah, okay. So it keeps his core character, but makes him work for TV.
Exactly. It's a really elegant solution, actually. A lot of adaptations stumble on that exact problem.
Interesting. What other big adaptation choices stand out?
Well, another really strategic one, especially if you know the books well, is bringing in Frances Neagley much, much earlier.
Right, Maria Sten plays her. She's his old army buddy.
That's her. In the books, Neagley's important, but she doesn't show up until, like, book 6, I think?
Oh, okay, so quite a bit later.
Yeah. But the show brings her in during season 1. And that immediately gives Reacher this trusted ally, someone who knows him, knows how he works, it connects him to his past.
Provides a bit of a support system,
Yeah.
even for a lone wolf like him.
Exactly. It lets them explore those professional relationships sooner, gives him someone reliable to call on as things get crazy in Margrave. It just gives the audience a sense that he's not completely alone, even though that's his whole thing. It balances it out for TV.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, actually. Gives us an anchor, too.
Okay, so speaking of Margrave, we got to talk about the people there. The good, the bad, and the very, very ugly.
Definitely. It's quite the cast of characters.
So who are the main players we need to keep track of? Obviously, Alan Ritchson as Jack Reacher.
Can't start anywhere else. He just is Reacher, the size, the intensity. It's fantastic casting.
Totally. And Maxwell Jenkins plays young Reacher in the flashbacks, which adds some nice depth.
Then you've got Malcolm Goodwin as Oscar Finlay. He's the detective. Very buttoned up, Harvard grad. Kind of the opposite of Reacher in many ways. But they form this reluctant respect, right?
They do. And Willa Fitzgerald is Roscoe Conklin. She's the local officer who's, got integrity. She sees through the town's problems, and she earns Reacher's respect pretty fast.
Yeah, she's great. Then on the other side, Chris Webster plays KJ Kleiner.
Ugh, yeah. The entitled son of the local big shot. He's just trouble from the moment you see him, a key antagonist.
And his dad isn't much better, presumably.
Not at all. Kleiner Sr. is played by Curry Graham. He's the powerful businessman pulling the strings. And Bruce McGill plays Mayor Grover Teal.
Another one deep in the town's corruption.
Yeah.
McGill is always good at playing those kinds of guys.
He really is. And then, as we mentioned, Maria Sten as Frances Neagley, playing that bigger, earlier role. That's sort of the core group.
Okay, got it.
But then there's this whole layer of recurring characters who are absolutely vital to the plot unfolding.
Right, the ones who fill out the world and really drive the story.
Exactly. The whole thing kicks off because of Joe Reacher's murder. Jack's older brother, he's played by Christopher Russell, and Gavin White plays young Joe. His death is the catalyst. It makes it personal for Jack immediately.
Can't get more personal than that.
No. Then there's Paul Hubble, played by Mark Ben-David, the banker who falsely confesses to Joe's murder right at the start.
Yeah, that was weird. Why did he do that?
Well, that unfolds, but his confession just throws everything into chaos right away. He's pivotal. And connected to him is his wife, Charlene Charlie Hubble, played by Kristen Creek.
From Smallville.
That's her. Protecting her and her kids becomes a huge part of the plot later on. Very dangerous.
Okay.
And then there's Picard. Martin Roach plays him. He's the FBI agent who Finley brings in. Seems like a good guy at first.
Oh, I sense a but.
Yeah, there's a big but later on. He turns out to be involved.
The plot thickens.
Always. And you've got smaller but important roles, too. Mosley, the barber, played by Willie C. Carpenter. Jasper, the motel guy. Harvey Guillen, who's hilarious.
Oh, I love Harvey Guillen.
No, he brings some nice levity. Then Tanner Spivey, the crooked guard from the first episode, played by Patrick Garrow. Officers Baker and Stevenson, Hugh Thompson, and Jonathan Kunzgen, they get caught up in it all, too.
Right, showing how deep the rot goes.
Exactly. And Dawson Kleiner, KJ's cousin or nephew, AJ Simmons, plays him. Another piece of the Kleiner muscle. They all weave together this really tangled, dangerous picture of Margrave. Trust is definitely in short supply.
It sounds like it. And you mentioned even brief appearances can have a big impact.
Absolutely. Sometimes a character is only in it for a short time, but their death or their actions just completely change the game.
Like who?
Well, Laura Jean Korostecki plays Molly Beth Gordon. She was Joe Reacher's colleague at the Secret Service.
Okay.
Her murder is a massive turning point, and it makes it even more personal for Reacher, if that's possible, and it raises the stakes dramatically.
Wow.
And then there's the initial police chief, Ed Morrison, played by Peter Skagen. His murder early on really signals just how corrupt the power structure is in Margrave and how high the danger level is for anyone poking around.
So even the seemingly minor deaths push the story forward hard.
Definitely. They're crucial for propelling Reacher's whole quest for justice and, let's be honest, revenge. They leave a real mark.
Okay, this is intricate. So let's get into that story itself then. How does it all unfold episode by episode?
Right, let's dive into the core of it.
Episode 1, Welcome to Margrave.
You said it starts with a bang.
Literally, a man shot dead, midnight, Margrave, Georgia. Quiet town, violent start.
And then Reacher just wanders in the next morning.
Yeah, looking for info on Blind Blake, the blues musician. Just wants to visit a place Blake might have died. Pure coincidence. Or so it seems.
And gets arrested immediately.
Pretty much steps off the bus and into handcuffs for the murder. Not exactly a warm welcome.
So Detective Finley questions him. Right. And Reacher, being Reacher, starts analyzing the crime scene details Finley gives him, deducts multiple killers, experienced ones, already showing his skills.
Even while he's the prime suspect.
Exactly. Then they throw him in jail with Paul Hubble, the banker who confessed. Remember, they found Hubble's number on the dead guy.
And Hubble confessed way too fast.
Suspiciously fast. And then the crooked guard, Spivey, tries to get them killed in Gen Pop.
But Reacher handles it.
Oh, does he ever. Brutally efficient. Makes it clear he's not someone to mess with.
So after that, Officer Roscoe Conklin starts helping him a bit.
Yeah, she seems to sense something's off, that he's not the guy. But then, KJ Kleiner shows up, threatens Reacher, establishes the conflict there.
So the lines are drawn pretty quickly.
Very quickly. And then the big twist. They find another body, horribly mutilated.
And Reacher knows him.
He does. It's his older brother, Joe. And suddenly, this isn't just some random murder case Reacher stumbled into. It's deeply, profoundly personal.
Wow, that changes everything for him.
Completely. What's fascinating there is how fast he goes from just being a suspect, an outsider, to being the victim's brother. The stakes just skyrocket for him personally.
Yeah, you can see how that would drive the whole rest of the season.
Okay,
so episode 2, First Dance. The conspiracy deepens.
It really does, and fast. Reacher's now actively working with Finley and Roscoe, driven by finding out who killed Joe.
And he figures out Hubble was the real target in prison.
Yeah, he talks to Hubble's wife, Charlene, puts the pieces together, realizes Hubble, who's now vanished, was the one they were trying to silence.
And then the police chief gets murdered, along with his wife.
Yeah, Chief Morrison. Gruesome.
Yeah.
Reacher immediately pegs him as being involved with whatever organization is running things. Corrupt.
And Mayor Teal just appoints himself chief.
Right away. Blatantly suspicious. Makes himself head of the investigation into the murder he might be connected to.
Okay, that's not subtle.
Not at all. Finley's told to basically fake the investigation, but he cleverly gets his FBI friend Picard to take Charlene and the kids into protection. A small win for the good guys.
But the danger ramps up for Reacher too.
Oh, yeah. He tries to meet Spivey, the guard, but gets ambushed by these South American mercenaries instead. Big fight, but they get away.
So professional hitters are involved now.
Definitely. And amidst all this, Reacher and Roscoe start connecting. They even have that dance.
First dance. Okay.
And then flooded roads trap them, they share a motel room, and Reacher actually opens up a tiny bit about his past, which is huge for him.
A rare moment of vulnerability.
Very rare.
Yeah.
But then they get back, and there's a threat carved into Roscoe's door. The organization is sending a clear message. Back off.
Man, it escalates quickly.
It really does. If you connect the dots, you see it go from one murder to this massive corruption, direct threats. Margrave is rotten to the core.
Okay, so episode 3, Spoonful. The scope gets even bigger.
It explodes. This is where it goes from feeling like a local mess to something much, much larger. Federal level stuff.
And Reacher gets serious.
He does. Roscoe gives him a gun, recognizing the danger. Then they get contacted by Molly Beth Gordon, Joe's Secret Service colleague.
Ah, the one who gets killed later.
Sadly, yes. But first, she drops a bombshell. Joe is in Margrave investigating large-scale counterfeiting.
Counterfeiting. Okay, that's a whole different ballgame.
Exactly. Changes everything. It's not just murder. It's a major federal crime.
So Reacher starts digging into the Kleiner connection.
Yep. He leans on one of Kleiner's lawyers, gets info on Pete Jobling, the second victim. Turns out Jobling was a truck driver. Kleiner got out of trouble. Suspicious link.
Meanwhile, Finley tries to check out Spivey's place.
And gets beaten up and arrested by dirty cops for his trouble. Shows you how deep the corruption runs in the local PD. But he still manages to link Spivey to Kleiner Industries.
So they confront Kleiner Sr.
Bold move. They go right to him. And he basically threatens them, tells them to drop it, confirms he's involved up to his neck.
Not smart to threaten Reacher.
Probably not. Reacher tells Roscoe and Finley to lay low. Then KJ menaces Roscoe, trying to paint Reacher as a killer, trying to isolate him.
Divide and conquer.
Classic tactic. Meanwhile, Finley finds out Hubble quit his cash management job over a year ago. Suggests this wasn't a recent thing.
Okay, so Hubble was involved for a while.
Seems like it. And the episode ends with Reacher being tailed by those mercenaries again.
Does he get away?
He does more than get away. He takes them all out.
Yeah.
Systematically, brutally. and finds Spivey's body in their trunk. Message received. These guys don't leave loose ends.
So here's where it gets really interesting, right? It's not just local anymore. It's federal, maybe international, and Reacher's showing just how dangerous he is.
Precisely. The scale just keeps expanding, which raises that question we touched on. How does Reacher's past inform what he's doing now?
Right, and we get a big piece of that in episode 4 in a tree, don't we?
We do. They find Joe's burned-out car, and that prompts Reacher to tell Roscoe the truth behind KJ's warning about Iraq.
What happened in Iraq?
He tells her he killed 3 civilian men because they had sexually assaulted young boys.
Whoa, okay. That's intense.
It's a huge revelation, a rare look into his moral code. It's not about the law necessarily, it's about his own line, his own justice, and it explains why he's so relentless against people who abuse power.
Makes a lot of sense of his character. Heavy stuff.
Yeah. And then after dealing with the mercenaries, he uses their counterfeit cash to pay for a motel. Kind of ironic.
And things heat up between him and Roscoe.
They do. They get intimate. It's a surprising turn, humanizes him even more amidst the violence.
Then they investigate Jobling more.
Yeah, visit his widow. Reacher spots these empty boxes, suspects they were used for moving the counterfeit money, maybe even from South America, broadens the scope again.
And threats keep coming.
Mayor Teal warns Finley off Kleiner again. Very direct. Reacher and Roscoe find a hidden note from Joe at a motel crucial clue right before another mercenary attack.
Does Roscoe save him this time?
She does. Pulls him out of the line of fire. And then Reacher admits he put himself in danger, partly to protect her. Another big character moment for him.
He's starting to care about people.
Right. It seems like it. He also reaches out to an old army contact, setting up Neagley's arrival later.
Okay. But the episode ends tragically.
Heartbreakingly, Molly Beth Gordon gets to Atlanta with Joe's files. And she's killed. Files stolen, right as Reacher finds her.
Oh, man. That just pours gasoline on the fire for him.
Absolutely. It makes it even more personal, more vengeful. His past actions, that moral code we saw, it fuels his drive now. It's not just solving a case, it's about delivering his brand of justice.
Okay, so with Molly Beth dead and the counterfeiting confirmed, things must just go off the rails. Episode 5, no apologies.
Pretty much. Reacher is furious, racked with guilt. He physically attacks KJ for messing with Roscoe's truck, just lets loose.
Does KJ press charges?
Surprisingly, no. Kleiner Sr. stops it, maybe trying to seem reasonable, maybe something else. But then Mayor Teal fires Roscoe.
Just fires her. Why?
Claims subpar work. But it's obviously just to get her out of the way, isolate the investigators. Pure corruption.
So Roscoe's out. What does Reacher do?
He finds research Roscoe's old mentor, Gray, had left her. And it confirms it. Margrave is the hub for Kleiner's counterfeiting operation. Huge breakthrough.
And this is when Neagley shows up.
Yep. Reacher meets with Frances Neagley. Their combined skills quickly link Kleiner Industries to something else, the death of an EPA agent.
EPA? What's that connection?
Turns out Kleiner was dumping toxic chemical waste. The agent found out. Now he's dead. So Kleiner's into more than just fake money. It's darker, wider.
Environmental crime, too. This guy's busy.
And ruthless. They hear about a hitman called the Viking who might be involved. Then things get really dangerous. One of the local cops they were working with.
Yeah.
Turns out he's dirty. Pressured by Kleiner's guys, he shoots his own partner and tries to kill Reacher and Neagley.
No way. Do they survive?
They do. Their training kicks in.
Right.
But it's a close call. Shows how desperate the other side is getting.
And Roscoe? What's she doing?
She figures out Teal killed her mentor, Gray, so she punches him. Right in the face.
Good for her.
Cathartic moment, but dangerous. Finley realizes she's a target now, so he sends her to protect the Hubble family, replacing Picard.
Okay, trying to keep her safe.
Right.
And the episode ends with another shock.
A big one. Finley breaks into Kleiner Sr.'s office and finds him murdered. Brutally.
Kleiner Sr.'s dead. Who killed him?
That's the question. Looks like a power struggle. Or maybe someone cleaning house leaves a big power vacuum.
Okay, let's unpack this. Stakes are lethal. Allies are turning. The main bad guy is suddenly gone. What happens now?
Well, that death actually signals things are getting deeper, not resolved. And you mentioned Charlene Hubble. What she reveals next is just chilling. It explains so much.
Right, so episode 6, Papier. What happens?
Reacher figures Kleiner wasn't killed by a rival, but by his Venezuelan partners, the guys actually running the show from afar.
So the conspiracy goes international.
Definitely. And those Venezuelans send mercs after the Hubbles at Picard's safe house. But Roscoe's there now.
Does she handle it?
She does. shows incredible bravery and skill, takes out the hitmen, gets Charlene and the kids out of there. She's seriously capable.
Okay, Roscoe's a badass. Confirmed.
Absolutely. And during that escape, Charlene tells Roscoe the full, horrifying story about her husband.
What Kleiner did to him.
Yeah. Kleiner tricked him into laundering money. Then, to make sure Hubble stayed terrified and loyal, Kleiner forced him to watch a man get crucified and castrated.
Oh my God. That's horrific.
It's grotesque. But it explains why Hubble acted the way he did, why he confessed falsely. The sheer terror and coercion he was under. It's a brutal piece of the puzzle.
That explains a lot. What are Reacher and Finley doing?
They're tracking one of Kleiner's trucks. Finley opens up to Reacher about why he's really in his death. Margrave, his wife, died after a long illness, adds this whole other layer to his character.
Makes him more human?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The truck they track is empty, though. Another dead end, it seems. But then Reacher learns one of Joe's contacts was killed, so he goes to NYC to meet another one, Professor Castillo.
Following Joe's trail.
Exactly. And she tells him Joe was tracing super bills, near-perfect counterfeit hundreds being made in Georgia.
That's the connection.
Bingo. Reacher puts it all together. Kleiner was printing the super bills in Margrave, shipping them to Venezuela. The whole international operation clicks into place.
Wow.
He realizes Castillo's now in danger, gets her protection, then deals with another assassin sent after him, strangles the guy with his own tie. Classic Reacher finish.
He doesn't mess around.
Yeah.
So that explanation from Charlene about the crucifixion, that's key to understanding Hubble's motivations. And Reacher finally seeing the full picture printing bills in Margrave for Venezuela, that sets up the end game, right?
Absolutely. What's fascinating there is the sheer brutality Charlene recounts, explaining the extreme coercion, and Reacher's final realization about the full scope of the counterfeiting operation. It's not just local, it's international. It all comes together.
So the conspiracy is deeper than they thought, reaches into the FBI via Picard, and the body count is just insane. Episode 7, Reacher said nothing. Things must get even uglier.
You have no idea. The Venezuelans are desperate now. They capture Officer Stevenson and his pregnant wife.
Oh, no.
And they torture and kill them both. It's utterly ruthless, just shows their depravity. And Teal, fully exposed now, fires Finley, trying to shut down any official investigation.
So Reacher and Finley are totally on their own.
Pretty much. But Reacher uses it. He pretends to trust the last cop, Officer Baker, knowing Baker's dirty.
Plants misinformation?
Exactly. Lays a trap. Baker tips off Kleiner's nephew, Dawson, who leads a Venezuelan hit squad to the Hubble house.
But Reacher's ready for them.
Oh, he's more than ready. He ambushes them, kills every single one. It's a total massacre. Pure Reacher dominance.
Vengeance delivered. Does he figure out the technical side too?
Yeah, he finally cracks the whole process. Kleiner Industries was bleaching $1 bills. Hubble got those using chemicals hidden by animal feed deliveries, then reprinting them as perfect $100 for Venezuela. The whole intricate scheme laid bare.
Wow. Clever and evil.
Very. Meanwhile, Finley has the awful job of telling Stevenson's parents. Just a gut-wrenching scene showing the human cost. Reacher helps Finley escape more mercs who track him down.
They're really relying on each other now.
They are. The conspirators burned down Jobling's widow's house to destroy evidence, but Joe's hidden note leads Reacher and Finley to the mother lode. Boxes of the counterfeit bills Jobling hid at his parents' place.
The smoking gun.
Exactly. Irrefutable proof. So they arrange to meet Picard, thinking maybe they can use the FBI connection.
What?
But they walk right into it. Picard and Teal are working together, with KJ pulling the strings all along. The ultimate betrayal. Every level of authority is compromised.
So what does this all mean? It means the conspiracy is far deeper, reaching into law enforcement itself, and the body count keeps rising. How can they possibly win?
It looks impossible, doesn't it? Which makes that final episode, episode 8, Pi, even more impactful. How does this brutal climax and Reacher's quiet departure reinforce his core identity? It all comes down to this.
Okay, the finale. What happens? Hostages.
Yeah. KJ has Roscoe, the Hubbles, even Finley, all hostage. He taunts Reacher, tells him to find Hubble, setting a trap.
Does Reacher walk into it?
He goes, with Picard pretending to help. But Reacher's done playing games. He attacks Picard, who panics and runs. Then Reacher finds Hubble.
And Hubble reveals the truth.
Yes, that he was working with Joe and Jobling all along, trying to expose Kleiner from the inside. Joe died trying to do the right thing.
Vindicating Joe. Okay. What about Finley?
Reacher saves him in spectacular fashion, rams the police station with a huge truck, Total chaos, then calmly kills Officer Baker, the dirty cop.
Just like that. Frontier justice.
Pretty much. So now it's Reacher, Finley, Neagley, and Hubble, armed to the teeth, ready to assault KJ's warehouse. The final showdown.
Against KJ and his remaining guy.
And the Venezuelans, they set the warehouse on fire, creating this inferno. Then they go in, taking out the mercs. It's intense. Hubble gets his moment, saves his daughters. Very redemptive.
And Reacher gets Roscoe and Charlene out.
Yep. Freeze them, make sure Charlie and the kids escape safely.
But Picard and Teal show up again.
They do, defiant to the end. But Finley and Roscoe have had enough. They kill them both. Pure retribution for everything.
Wow. Justice served, Margrave style. What about KJ?
Reacher confronts him in the burning warehouse and just leaves him there, lets the fire take him. A cold, fitting end.
Poetic justice, almost. Is there anything else?
There's this really poignant flashback Reacher has. Him and Joe in Paris, visiting their dying mother. She gives him his grandfather's medal, the Croix de Guerre, adds this unexpected emotional depth right at the climax.
Reminds you he has a past, a family.
Exactly. So, the aftermath. Roscoe's determined to rebuild Margrave. Reacher suggests she run for mayor. They share this farewell kiss. It's clear there's something there, but...
But he's Reacher. He doesn't stay.
Never does. Finley decides to go back to Boston, find a new start. And Reacher. He goes to where Joe died, buries that medal his mother gave him. A final act of closure.
Leaving that part of his past behind.
Yeah. And then he just walks out of Margrave, back on the road. His job there is done. It perfectly encapsulates him. The drifter, the agent of justice, never putting down roots.
That walk away, burying the medal.
Yeah,
that says it all. He comes in, cleans up the mess, and moves on. Incredible season.
True.
Now let's talk a bit about actually making this show. Bringing Margrave, this whole world, to life. That couldn't have been simple.
Not at all. And some of the behind-the-scenes stuff is pretty fascinating.
Like, where did they even film it? Margrave isn't a real place, right?
Nope, completely fictional. And here's the wild part. They basically built it.
We had the whole town.
Pretty much. They leased this huge farm field up in North Pickering, Ontario, Canada.
Canada, not Georgia.
Nope, Canada.
Yeah.
And on this empty field, they constructed a temporary townscape just for the show. Streets, storefronts, the police station, the diner, everything.
That's insane for a TV show.
It's a massive undertaking. Really shows the commitment to getting the look and feel right, building a whole world.
Where else did they film?
Other spots around Ontario, too. Toronto, Port Perry, other parts of Pickering. They kept it all Canadian.
Okay, that's surprising. What about the action? Alan Ritchson makes it look easy, but it must be tough.
Tough is an understatement. He actually got pretty banged up filming season 1.
Oh, really? Like what?
He broke a bone in his shoulder, had to have surgery after they wrapped filming.
Ouch.
Yeah. And he also tore an abdominal muscle during one of the fight scenes. Just pushed himself that hard.
Man, that's serious dedication. It really shows the physicality required for that role.
It absolutely does. It's not just acting. It's incredibly demanding physically. His commitment really comes through in how authentic and frankly brutal those fight scenes feel. It wasn't just stunt doubles and quick cuts.
Yeah, you feel those hits.
And that level of detail, building the town, the physicality, it all adds up to making the adaptation feel grounded and real, despite the larger-than-life character. MJ Bassett's direction, focusing on clear, impactful choreography rather than shaky cam, really helps too. You see Ritchson doing the work.
It makes a difference. That commitment really paid off.
It absolutely did. It respects the source material, but makes it work powerfully on screen.
Okay, so we have covered a lot today. But let's just quickly recap this deep dive into Reacher Season 1. We started with the basics. Based on Lee Child's Killing Floor, huge hit for Amazon, the creative team with Nick Santora and Lee Child involved.
Right, the foundation.
Then those key adaptation choices, making Reacher talk a bit more, bringing Neagley in early, smart moves for TV.
Crucial for making it work visually.
We ran through the cast, Ritchson nailing Reacher, Finley, Roscoe, the Kleiners, Teal, all the key players in Margrave's mess.
A great ensemble.
And then the plot itself, episode by episode. How Joe's murder leads to uncovering this massive counterfeiting ring, the corruption, the betrayals, the rising body count.
It's a dense, twisty plot.
Right up to that fiery finale. The warehouse showdown, justice being served, Reacher burying the medal and walking away.
Classic Reacher ending.
And finally, the production details. Building Margrave in Canada, Ritchson's injuries, the sheer effort involved.
Yeah, the dedication behind the scenes was immense.
So hopefully, if you've listened this far, you've got a much deeper, richer picture of Reacher Season 1, from the page to the screen and everything in between.
That's the goal. And maybe it leaves you with something to think about. As Reacher walks away from Margrave, leaving behind all that destruction, but also the potential for a fresh start, having dealt with his past, it makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Wonder what?
Well, what kind of impact do we leave on the places we move through in our own lives? What parts of ourselves, our memories, our pains, our triumphs do we choose to carry forward? And what parts, maybe, do we need to consciously bury, like Reacher buried that metal, as we keep moving on our own journeys?
That's a deep thought to end on. Something for everyone to chew on.
Maybe. And hey, maybe rewatch the season now with all this in mind.
Well,
Or pick up Killing Floor. See it all with fresh eyes.